doesn't know why we go there to Kurukshetra. In order to worship Bhagavan and to hear from saintly people about this divine knowledge that Bhagavan has given to us. That is the actual purpose of visiting holy place and of these festival days. So today we celebrate, actually we did already on Thursday, but now for you who are not there also, we will celebrate worshipping this holy book of Bhagavad Gita. But then Krishna says in the end that actually the real way to worship me is to listen and study to Bhagavad Gita, study it carefully. So therefore we recommend that everyone should have at least one Bhagavad Gita in his home and read it carefully. Otherwise how you can study it. And that is our mission. It's not that we are making business out of selling books, it's Hare Krishna. We get hardly anything. I personally dedicated many years in my life to translate these books. I didn't get paid well into German language. And devotees here translate into Danish language. So now this BBT has published Bhagavad Gita in 87 languages of the world. Still we want to translate more languages. So we take a donation for these books to cover the printing cost and also to print some more books. And this way we started from maybe 500 books, probably actually had 600 books he printed on his own. And then from that we expanded. Now we have distributed books, BBT books, more than 700 million books worldwide in the last 40 years. And it's the most widely read issue, 300 million issues of this Bhagavad Gita as it is in history. In such a short time, this is really remarkable. So even where I come from, Germany, we have this great philosophers like Schopenhauer. He said, I thank God that he allowed me to live long enough so I would be able to actually read Bhagavad Gita. I thank God that I had the chance to read this book, that I didn't die before. So it sounds like it was the most important book in his whole life. That was 200 years ago. You can also maybe read loudly what is written here. Schopenhauer said another thing in Danish also. Or maybe they translated it into Danish, yes?
He says, Bhagavad Gita er den klogeste og mest ophøjede lære, som det er muligt at finde i verden. And in English that means Bhagavad Gita is the smartest and most elevated teachings that it is possible to find in the world.
Sure, there you go. So also Goethe, who is very well known, Goethe Institute in Germany, very great thinker and a writer, he said, this is the most excellent book. It's the most excellent book I've ever seen. So it has touched the lives of so many great personalities. In India also we know Gandhiji, he achieved so much. He was such an effulgent personality. And he said that whenever I don't know anymore what to do, whenever I get dejected and I get confused, I take out the Bhagavad Gita and I read it. Immediately I find an answer. Immediately I find enlightenment and encouragement. So this Bhagavad Gita is not theory, it is a very practical book. And it helps us to understand how to overcome all the difficulties of life. So Bhagavad Gita speaks for itself, therefore I will read a little more from Bhagavad Gita, because it's not depending on my humble comments here. Although we are very enthusiastic, so we'll explain a few things about the background here. Because we are trying to give our lives to the service of Bhagavad Gita. Why are we doing that? Because Krishna says that once you actually have this knowledge, just like the sun rises in daytime, it would dispel all the darkness of ignorance. If you understand the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, the Krishna consciousness, philosophy, then that knowledge will lighten up everything, just like the sunlight lightens up everything in the daytime. Then people think, why you say always Krishna consciousness? There's so much in the Vedas. But even in Bhagavad Gita it is mentioned, Veda Isha Sarvaya Ahameva Vedyo. Through all the Vedas, it is Krishna who is to be known. Veda Isha Sarvaya Ahameva Vedyo. Vedanta Krit Veda Videva Cha. So from Krishna, to develop that Krishna consciousness, that means you understand everything in the right perspective. It means you have actual God consciousness. the highest level of perfection. And therefore Bhagavad Gita is also known to be the first book of yoga and meditation also, the original book of yoga. All the different yoga ideas originally come. That is older even than the teachings of Patanjali and others who claim to teach yoga. Therefore Krishna is known as Yogeshvara, the master of all yoga and of all mystic knowledge. So he can give us perfect knowledge, and people have found that when they follow this knowledge, all the illusion is being dispelled, all their fears are gone. Vitaraga bhaya krodha manmaya mam upashrita bhavo jnana tapasa putamad bhagam agataha. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, 4th chapter, 10th verse, that vitaraga bhaya krodha. In the past, many people by this knowledge, they were free from vita or attachment, which produces hate and confusion. Vita raga, raga is actually attachment, vita raga, freed from attachment. And bhaya, from all fear also. Nowadays we are always in fear, always in anxiety, so much anxiety. Bhagavad Gita's aim is to free us from anxiety. You don't have to pay a lot of money for therapists, and then maybe you have more anxiety because you lost that money to the therapist. No, it is not temporary, but it will free you from all anxiety for the rest of your life. As soon as you open this book, it will give you strength. So Krishna says there's nothing more sublime and more valuable than spiritual knowledge. It is the fruit of all mysticism and of all other endeavors. Nothing can compare to that. It is the most precious thing. So if you give someone this gift of knowledge, this is the highest gift you can give to anyone. Because to help someone is very nice. But if you can help someone to help himself, that is the best help you can give. So this Bhagavad Gita will enable you to stand on your feet, just like Arjuna was after that standing on his own feet, and he knew what he had to do. He was freed from all doubts and all illusion, and became very, very enlivened. And he said, thank you. So this will be read here. And it says here, Yaidam paramam guhyam mad bhakteshva vidasyati bhakti mayi param kritva mamevasya samshaya. For one who explains the supreme secret to the devotees, the secret of Bhagavad Gita. Pure devotional service is guaranteed, and at the end of life he will come back to me. And then Krishna says, Na chitasma manusyeshu kashime priyakritama bhavitana chame tasmad anya priyatado bhuvi. There's no servant in this world more dear to me than he, nor will there ever be one more dear. So there are various topics in Bhagavad Gita. It is the most important chapter of Mahabharata. Most of you know some stories from Mahabharata. Very famous histories and very instructive story. So the most important chapter of, there's over 100,000 verses, which is hard to explain all of them and learn all of them. But this chapter is the most important chapter, and it is described by all the great rishis like Vyasa and others as the most wonderful conversation. Sanjaya at the end says, my hair is standing on end in ecstasy when I remember this conversation of Bhagavad Gita, which I have heard through the mercy of Vyasadeva, the compiler of the Vedas. So if we cannot study so many Vedas, we can take this Bhagavad Gita. It's very practical. It explains to us who we are. What is the soul? What is the purpose of life? What is spiritual energy? What is material energy? But nowadays people just like to speculate, and they become more and more frustrated and confused. This will dispel all of your illusion. That's what Arjuna said at the end. Now all my illusion is gone, and I will act according to your instructions. This is so wonderful. So this book we have published in Danish language, and some of you may wonder then, maybe before Christmas, you want to give a gift to someone. We see the streets are filled with people. And they're spending so much money on so many, often very useless things. And they get very stressed. And they get very hectic. But how to find peace, that's in Bhagavad Gita. And if you want to give someone a really valuable gift, why not give them a Bhagavad Gita? That is our request. So on Gita Jayanti Day in all our temples worldwide, sometimes we even rent a whole big hall for that. I was in Dubai chanting the whole Bhagavad Gita on this Gita Jayanti Day with 600 devotees here. And we distribute this Bhagavad Gita as many as possible. So to make it possible for you to give this, maybe as a gift, maybe even for Christmas, to some of the people, sometimes we have these obligations in this world. You will not find any better gift than this. Because they will get a lasting benefit, and they will find actual happiness and peace of mind. And peace of mind is the greatest gift because that is the base of happiness. So it's very practical and very scientific. It is not sectarian also. You don't have to join anyone. In fact, Krishna says, Sarva Dharma Parityaja. Give up all these confessional designations. I'm Christian, I'm this and that. But simply understand the truth, Sanatana Dharma, about spiritual life. So this book now, by the hard work of the devotees here, and they are going out selling this book before Christmas, we call it Prabhupada Marathon. But you're also invited to take a book, or maybe more, with you, and you'll be benefited forever, especially if on this occasion of Gita Jayanti, you take a book and you give it to someone, you will get unlimited benefit from this book, unlimited auspicious. So we have made it very nice. This book, you can get it we are normally selling it here. There will be one devotee. And if you cannot buy it now, you can just order it also. You can just sign and order one book, or 5 books, or 10 books. If you take one book, it's only 200 Danish crowns. 200 Danish crowns. Which is for such a book, which is invaluable, and you will read it for the rest of your life. It's really nothing. When we go shopping, we spend 200 crowns, a few potatoes, a few apples. Some people buy other things, chewing gum, Coca-Cola, whatever. It's not much money here. 200 crowns is nothing. But the next day it's gone. Your chewing gum is gone. It's gone forever. Your money is gone forever. You may as well light it and throw it out of the window. And have a few potatoes, whatever. So it's not really much for such a book. So we tried to work hard and print many. We have now ordered how many? 10,000?
5,800.
5,800 to start with. In Germany we just printed 100,000. We are distributed about 2 million of them. So you can take 1 or 10 or 100, it's no problem. But then you may think, okay, I cannot read 100, but you can give it away to the people. So if you give someone a gift for Christmas instead of a flower vase as every year and it ends up in the basement, maybe they say thank you, how nice, and they put it back to 2 weeks somewhere. And a tie for your daddy, he already has 50 ties in his cupboard, a bottle of something, your chocolate, you can't even see it. Why not give someone Bhagavad Gita, something really useful? You will be benefited and the receiver will be benefited. Even by touching the book, you will be benefited. So to have a book in here, even sometimes they don't read immediately, but after some time they will read because it's so nicely made and has all the answers to your problems of life. The whole Bhagavad Gita is a conversation between someone who has problems and someone who is asking, the most perfect person in the world. So people lament all the time, problem. Here's the solution. Why don't you take? Oh, no, I have no time. That is their misfortune. But we want to make everyone fortunate. Sarvam Sukhinam Bhavantu. Human form of life means you do something for the benefit of mankind. You don't just eat, sleep, and pass stool on the toilet like an animal, but you also do something for benefit of mankind. So not only, there's another good news, if you take 5 of them here, we made a special agreement, you even save 250 crowns. 250 crowns you save. You get it for 750 crowns. I will speak a few more minutes on that, because that's a very important point. Now you see all these Bhagavad Gitas here, can you look there? There's Bhagavad Gitas and piles of 10 pieces. So if anyone can take 10, there's an even better news for you. And some ordered already on Gita Jayanti, quite a few. I thank all those who already did. But there are some others maybe also want to take this chance. So if you take 10, you will save 1,000 crowns. We'll give it for half price, which is already so cheap. Now we make it half price for you. because we don't want to make profit. We are not business organization. We're just maintaining these temples as much as we can, and we spread this knowledge with our life and soul. So if you take 10, you get them for 100 crowns a book. And some of you have ordered already 10. And if you cannot pay today, you can just sign it up and put your name. We trust you. You can pick it up in the next few days whenever you want to bring the money. In Germany, on this occasion of Gita Jayanti, we usually have many such orders. Some of them who don't know so many people who give the book, they are also sponsoring these books because we distribute these books. And sometimes they are students who maybe cannot afford it but very seriously interested in Bhagavad Gita. So what we do then, some who have this extra money, who want to do something good for this mission, they sponsor 100, 200 books. In Germany that happens quite often. So we have every year a few hundred books, 400 or 500 books which are sponsored. And if you sponsor them, it's the same price, 100 each. And we will make sure they are distributed to people who cannot afford it. We go to hospitals, we go to university students, but only those who are seriously interested, because it's a very valuable book. We give it to an ambassador or whoever. They can of course afford it, but sometimes we give it to them also for free. So you can either do this or that. But if you, I think, as far as I have seen, I do not think, but as far as I have seen, I see that everyone can afford to maybe take 5 or 10 of these books, so you can take 3 of them, and I just want to encourage them. There's a counter, there's a form also, and here the temple president himself will be the door guard today, and he will be as reliable, as firm as Jaya and Vijaya, the door guards of Vaikuntha, and will take care of every need you have. We are only your servants here, and our only service is to carry on that knowledge of Bhagavad Gita and give it to the people. So if you can help us, sometimes people from India come and they say, this is our culture. We say, yes, we're doing your work. But actually, it's also our work because it's for all human beings. So Krishna is the Lord of everyone, not just the Indians, not just the Danish, but everyone. But we are so happy this knowledge is now spreading like anything. We have now distributed last week so many of these in different cities all over Denmark, Aarhus, so many places. And people are very happy. The Bhagavad Gita is becoming very popular now. People are asking, oh, this is a famous Bhagavad Gita, I heard about it, and you brought it, I was looking for it, thank you very much. So this will last more. They will read this for the rest of their life, not just for 1 day or 2 days. So this is the best investment. And Krishna says, nobody will be as dear as someone who gives out this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. So here's that verse. He says, there's no servant in this world more dear to me than he who distributes this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, nor will there ever be one more dear. And I declare that he who studies this sacred conversation of ours worships me by his intelligence, and one who listens with faith and without envy becomes free from sinful reactions and attains to the auspicious planets where the pious people would dwell. O son of Pritha, O conqueror of wealth, have you heard this with an attentive mind? Are your ignorance and illusions now dispelled? Arjuna said, my dear Krishna, O infallible one, my illusion is now gone. I have regained my memory by your mercy. I am now firm and free from doubt, and I am prepared to act according to your instructions. Sanjaya said, thus I have heard the conversation of 2 great souls, Krishna and Arjuna, and so wonderful is that message that my hair is standing on end. And then in the last verse, which some of you may know, Yatra Yogeshvara Krishna Yatra Partho Dhanodara Tatra Shir Vijayo Bhutir Dhruva Matir Mama. So this last verse translation is, wherever there is Krishna, the master of all mystics, and wherever there is Arjuna, the supreme archer or bowman, there will also certainly be opulence. Shri. Opulence. Everyone wants opulence. Wherever there's Krishna, there will be opulence. That is what Lakshmi Devi is. There will be victory. There will be extraordinary power, and there will be morality. That is my opinion. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki Jai! Srimad Gita Jayanti Mahotsava ki Jai! Srila Prabhupada ki Jai! So now we have this beautiful little altar made directly for Bhagavad Gita. For those of you who couldn't come on Thursday, and you are all allowed. Do we have the ghee lamps here? Anyone knows when they are there? Jai, that is Oscar Prabhu. He's very expert at making really bona fide ghee lamps with pure ghee. And every one of you is allowed now when the kirtan starts to offer one lamp. You can also go several persons, like 2-3 persons at a time, and offer a ghee lamp to Krishna's Holy Bhagavad Gita book. And we pray that then your life will be all auspicious. And every day your God consciousness and your purification and my purification will increase day by day. So this is the solution for the problem of life, and let's hope and pray that this will be the beginning, this beautiful ceremony for the worship of Bhagavan Shri Krishna, who is standing there with Tulasi Devi in his golden form, and of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Would you like to So now, please, everyone come ahead to front, because we will do arti and offering of the lamp.